Laurie Huston's News for the Heart is dedicated to helping you give a voice to your own soul. Our hearts have the power to free us from pain and the struggles that keep us from awakening to our true essence. Join Laurie now as we delve into our heart and soul to find the path that will open us to the possibilities and lead us to the life we love to live.
And good afternoon. This is News for the Heart. And, well, I'm not going to say it again, but we are in the second week of August. Yep. Which means I have my awesome co-host, Tracy McBurney, with me. And, well, this is going to be an interesting show. We're going to talk about just different things that are happening, like we always do, but we're going to talk about some actors, some empathy or empathic energies that we sometimes have, and some really unique light healing modalities that are coming out from everywhere but Canada, but we are accepting them. We just don't know how to use them.
We're just not placing them anywhere.
All right. Well, welcome to the show, Trace. It's always fun to have you.
I just heard that squeak of a voice. So you were asking me what's been happening, what's been going on, what's been floating my boat, and so I answered that honestly. The two things that I've been watching, observing, experiencing, and, profoundly impacted by, as far as awareness, observation, and understanding. So the first one was, as I was driving back from lunch, it was just this concept, like, you hear people, you need to answer this question. You need to answer the question, who are you? Who are you? Like, before you're really going to figure some things out, you need to just answer the question, like, who are you? And I'm like, I've always had a bit of trouble with that, at least for the last 10 or 15 years. And it was more like, no, I'd rather want people to really hunker in, especially if they're having a problem with that question. Why don't you start with, what are you? Like, maybe you're having a harder time figuring out who you are because you don't really have a concept of what you are. Mm. And I don't think that in North America, and that I'm going to speak specifically about Canada because I live in Canada, that Canada as a culture, as a country, as a government, makes it very easy for us to answer that question, what are we? I don't think our medical world makes it easy when we're sick. They're not really making it clear as it could be, because they're not clear. They're not clear, so they're not making it clear to us. I don't think our school systems, although I haven't been in school for a while, I don't think a lot has changed on this topic of trying to help children, teenagers, adults answer that question, what are we?
Yeah.
And I just looked up something on my phone that was sent to me, and it was my husband. He said, this came through TikTok, I think. And he said, and I was, and he said, no, just, and he said, listen, there's some more stuff that I'm sending you in a video through Messenger, because there's a whole video thing that links to this, but he just gave me this one picture, and it says breaking. And then the next wording after the colon is, scientists found mitochondria use light to communicate, suggesting humans are fundamentally beings of light.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I'm going to repeat that again. Scientists found mitochondria use light to communicate, suggesting humans are fundamentally beings of light.
Wow.
And so now I haven't listened to the video. I haven't seen the video. I haven't sat in that master class, but I was so excited to see that.
Yeah.
And I know, like, some people might know, well, mitochondria, what the heck is mitochondria? And I'm not going to say I'm the guru on anatomy, but mitochondria is present in all of our cells, and it is foundational in the concept of us in energy. Like we have energy, we expend energy, we are energetic. And one of the reasons why we're energetic is because of the presence of mitochondria. Right. And some people have more, some people have less mitochondria in the muscles. It's like ATP, which is energy transference. And so what we're talking about is, wow, they use the mitochondria, which is foundational and fundamental, like it's a link to energy for us and energy flowing within us, use light to communicate. Mm-hmm. And you're kind of going, wow, like holy fuck, like wow. Okay. So I remember when I was at IHN teaching psychology of disease or even teaching energy medicine. And one of the things I would start on the chalkboard in the last maybe 8 years of teaching the class, I would have the message on the chalkboard because I'm a chalkboard person. And it would be, and I never took physics in school. So for me to even put something on a chalkboard that links to physics is hilarious. I never took physics in school. And I find the idea of quantum physics to be problematic. There's many places and paths that I go down when I read all of this stuff connecting into quantum physics that is unbelievably complicated. Yes. Tricky, beyond my pay grade is the way it feels. Like this really is for somebody else, and this really is for a smarter brain than my brain. But as far as the fundamentals of what I could grab from quantum physics to put on that chalkboard, I'd say, okay, well, this is what the quantum physics people, which were connecting into Albert Einstein's original hypothesis that gave birth to quantum mechanics, all energy in the physical world, all matter is energy in the physical world. So I'm just literally writing that on the board. All matter is energy in the physical world. And so what I wanted people to do is just kind of consider that. Like, smack your arm, smack your legs, as everybody in this classroom recognizing the body that they're smacking as matter. Like, we can have a lot of arguments about a lot of things, but is everybody recognizing that this that you're smacking is matter? It's kind of like solid matter. And there isn't a person in the room that was disagreeing with that. I'm saying, okay, well, what quantum physics is saying is all matter is energy. And that links right back to Albert Einstein. So all matter is energy. So then I might look at a couple of the students in the room and said, okay, well, then I guess that makes you an energy being. Then you're an energy being. If all matter, then you're saying you have a body, you're linked into the body, you are with the body, which means you're an energy being. So what did you learn over there? What did you learn over there? What did you learn over here? What did you learn here? What did I learn in school about me as an energy being? Right. What did I learn? Nothing. What did my doctor learn? Like I want to shame the doctor that he's not coming back to me, giving me more information about myself as an energy being. Well, I expect you to do that, no more than me. I don't know about me as an energy being, but I'm thinking that's what quantum physics is saying, and that's kind of accepted science. Right. So, and complicated science, and not a science my father was the least bit interested in delving into at all. And yet it is accepted enough that we have nanoparticle technology in vaccines, and that is quantum science. And we've got nanoparticles in shampoos, and we've got nanoparticles in candies. We got nanoparticles in crazy places right now. And I'm not so sure all those nanoparticles are doing really good things, no, but they're certainly able to access a deeper part of us more quickly. Right. So then I look at the concept of now I want to write on the board another fact, not just that all matter is energy, but all matter is densely packed light. So then you sit with that. And that is a truth. That's what's going on with the MRI machine. All matter is densely packed light. What? Yeah. The MRI machine is taking pictures of photons of light emanating from the liver, emanating from the kidney, emanating from anywhere the doctors want to look at, taking photographs of photons of light in your physical body. And so then you sit with that. And I say, okay, so are we all still in agreement that all this body that you're smacking is matter? And then, the quantum physics world, Albert Einstein, they're saying, proven science, all matter in the physical world is not only energy, it's densely packed light. So what did I learn about myself as a light being? What did I learn about how the light being of me operates? What did I learn in school about the technology of the light being of me in Bo? What did I learn in university? Nothing about the light being of me. What did I learn in the 3rd year DNA course that I really wanted to take because I wanted to know more than I learned in high school? Nothing more at that time than I learned in high school. I was pissed at that time. I really was, because I really wanted to know more.
Right.
And I was brave enough to go, I'm going to make this my elective course, and I am going to put myself in the seat of a 3rd year medical course because I really want to know more. And there was no more that they were teaching.
Wow.
And it wasn't for another 25 years or something until I was sitting in a classroom space in Santa Fe, New Mexico, where I'm listening to Dr. Bruce Lipton. I'm listening to him, cellular biologist, telling me the more about DNA. 20-something years, 25 years later. And I was almost crying. I was like, I am sitting here finally getting the more that I wanted then. And then I had to go into deep forgiveness to UFT, to myself, for my malicious judgment, for my anger, for my upset, forgiving UFT, forgiving the professors, because we didn't know. We didn't know. They would teach us more. If they had known it, they didn't know it. We collectively did not know this until we knew it.
Yes.
Until somebody as brave as Dr. Lipton, as soon as somebody as brave as that scientist at Stanford University figured out something that nobody could deny. And boy, was he shamed in what he had figured out. And that Biology of Belief book that he put out over 25 years ago, it's foundational. It is new biology. It is new science. It's new biology, but also embraces the concept, the quantum physics concepts, teaching some things. And yet so there I am with that. And I've been there for quite a long time. I've been in that place, teaching those classes, thinking these things, seeing these things, still seeing things not really changing, still seeing, you open your mouth, you start talking about some of this stuff, and people say, oh yeah, she's the woo-woo one. We're having a woo-woo conversation. And, for a while I thought that was kind of funny. And it was good. It's like, okay, she's the foolish one. She's the one that's talking woo-woo gibberish stuff, but, she's really passionate about it. So let her have her 5 minutes at the table. And I'm like, there's nothing woo-woo about this.
Not at all.
And it is so scientifically understood now at levels that are so complicated that it's almost like the things that I am so freaking interested in are almost out of my pay grade in how complicated they are and how much we actually know.
Yeah.
So I sit there humbly in my little place with my brain being my brain, knowing this is truth. And knowing I'd love to sit with some of these science people. I'd love to sit in the same space as them, but they're so much smarter than me. They've got brains that can understand things at such bigger, grander levels, but what they're doing is astounding. What they're doing is amazing. What they're thinking, what they're discovering, what they're putting down on paper, what they're bringing in technology is so astounding. And I love to just be with them in a room to say thank you. and I'll work to try and understand it all or a little bit at the levels that I can. But thank you for the work that you're doing to bring to us the awareness, truthfully the awareness of us as light beings, energy beings, that we are more than just physical beings. Thank you for everything you're doing, which is so offside from where we are in consciousness in North America, and you're not caring and you're doing it anyway. Like you're following what's right, you're following science. So even though people would say that's not science, you're following science. And so I went on last Friday up to Collingwood with a girlfriend to step into a space where two women, two sisters, who have worked diligently for a lot of years, investigating this stuff, learning about this stuff. Kim Sator has written, I think, 4 books. She's going to have another book coming out called Light, which she said she researched for 3 years before she finished the book. And there they are with all of these unbelievably delicious, lovely technologies that they say are adopted openly in the medical worlds and maybe even hospitals in Europe. One of the technologies that I was with from Germany, or 2, one from Spain, credible for helping people with anxiety, helping people just who are so kind of mentally offside, beside themselves, can't ground, can't be, can't exist, helping with autism, helping with all sorts of things. Technology from Spain. Another technology from Germany, Italy, lots of technology coming in from Italy, lots of symposiums, workshops, master classes, conferences, where people are coming from all over Europe and coming in from Canada, coming in from the United States to be in these places in Italy. And I'm going, well, Canada has approved everything that they have. They are not saying, hey, we are like mice. We are hiding these things in this little place. We are bringing in things that aren't allowed here in Canada. Every single one of these instrumentations has been approved by Health Canada as a type 2 or maybe even type 3, I don't know, type 2 at least, medical device. And they are here, and I witnessed all of them in this space.
Nice.
And they are working with all of them. And technicians are working with all of them. And Kim is a wonderful resource for helping. She understands very intimately all of these technologies and how they operate and what the difference is between them and what they're doing for the cells, what they're doing in different areas of our body. These are light technologies. So the room has different light coming in, a violet light over here in one section, a red light over here, a red light coming in on somebody's back. It was astounding to just kind of be there. And to sit with these women who were taking so much time to just explain and had so much time. And I just went, wow. And then I thought, okay, Canada, government, Health Canada. Health Canada is interesting because it's almost like you think it kind of works for the government, but it doesn't. It's kind of Health Canada's Health Canada. But approving these things as type 2 medical devices, which means they're not doing anything illegal. This has been accepted into this country, but it's not accepted into the College of Physicians of Ontario. It's not accepted into any of the colleges of physicians in any of the provinces. It's not accepted into the universities or taught as courses to doctors or medical professionals in the universities. It's not accepted anywhere. The government's maybe not doing anything to be helpful to it being accepted to any of those places. So it's still sitting in a place of woo-woo. Right. So it's like these women are operating with woo-woo technologies that are like, what are they doing? What are they doing? They're playing with light. They're fiddling around with light. They're doing foolish things, whatever it is. But that's not the way it's seen in Europe. That is not the way it's seen in Europe. And so they would literally say, you know, you break a bone somewhere in Europe that really is recognizing all of this stuff. The very first thing that happens is some loop, some Tesla loop is literally put around the place that's broken before anything's even x-rayed. It's like that comes in, that Tesla technology comes in, and it's already starting to mend. It's already starting to do something to maybe not mend, but to be helpful to, probably better to say, to be helpful to put the body into healing cycle. Like there's an energetic place called healing. And if the cells aren't in the space of healing, if they're not open to healing, if the cells haven't been changed over to healing mode, then healing doesn't happen. Then those cells are still in crisis. They're still in shock. They're still in the problem. They're still being held in the shock, and they're not open to healing. Kind of like the Chinese that have a change of season soup. It's like you take it's real. You take the change of season soup when everything starts to get colder, and like taking the soup, and what it's doing is it's changing what's going on in the skin cells so that something's closing, something's not so open, something's more protected because you're going into the colder months. I thought, so this is kind of this.
Right.
So the first time I learned about the body having to be in healing phase, so to speak, was with microcurrent. It's like there was a microcurrent that would help to put the body into that place. And maybe that's what that Tesla technology is doing, more so than trying to mend, because why would you want to mend something that hasn't been properly put back into place yet?
Right.
But maybe ensuring that the body's been put into healing phase. And they're instantaneously doing that.
That's cool.
Where I don't think we're even talking about that. Like, is this person open to healing? Our muscle testing, is this person open to healing? Is this body open to healing? Is this body into the phase of healing? Or are the doors closed to that and it's still in shock?
Right. That's what I was going to say.
Are the doors closed to that and it's still traumatized?
Mm-hmm.
So how can you make anything better? How can that healing thing happen if the cells are still sitting there in trauma? So things are just bouncing off. And nothing's really going in.
Right.
Because nothing. And so they have this really cool machine that they just brought in that is from Spain. And it's called Nessa. And the things that it's doing for people that are highly anxious, the things that it's doing for people that maybe are not in that healing phase, that are just so traumatized, so fearful, so pathologically fearful, that nothing's getting in, nothing like it, protectively, nothing's getting in.
Right.
Like, don't come at me anymore. Nothing come at me anymore. Nothing come at me anymore. And this machine, this technology is being helpful to them.
Wow.
So it softens everything and combs the light fibers and what did I say? Just does the things that need to be done to put somebody back into ability to receive love, to receive things without perceiving them as threat. To be able to let things in. And to be okay with that. Like, I am okay. My body is in a receiving place, can let things in, and I am okay. So, yeah, and apparently there's a doctor that has one of these new technologies in Richmond Hill.
Oh.
And I believe that person is a doctor.
Very cool.
And I'm just going to investigate that. The Sequex mat. Like, I've had experience with that mat for maybe 4 or 5 or 6 years. Angela Greco, another colleague of mine, beautiful woman, she bought one. She has one of these technologies and she travels with it sometimes to people's homes. Like, what an amazing thing for her to walk in. She did it right in my office, right in my home when I was having a real problem and I was a mess. And she literally brought her massage tape and her Sequex mat, which is not heavy.
Right.
And she brought all of that into my living room and set it all up. and put me on that mat and let that mat scan my entire beingness, aura, physical, everything, making helpful decisions to say, this is where the open doors are, put this card in, this card in, this card in. This is what the body is saying it's open to. This is what the body is saying it will receive in. In other words, these are the priorities. And I thought, this is magical. This is unbelievable. Like even that concept of this is what the body, we're scanning the body, and the body is saying, this is what it will receive in. This is what it can receive in the electrical system that's going on. Like I have a nerve condition, so there's an electrical system that doesn't work as quickly. So in other words, that machine picks that up and says, out of all of the different electrical streams that could be brought in, don't send in this one or this one or this one, because it's going to be problematic to her receiving. So it's choosing this one. We'll bring it all in this way for her. And I was just like, how freaking cool. And then the diagnostic is done. The cards are put in because she's traveling with the cards, and the cards are programs, and the programs are being received in, and the programs are now flowing in, and the body's receiving them. And I'm feeling those changes.
I'm going to have to tag Angela into this one.
Well, yeah, Angela Greco.
Yeah, no, I have her.
She was at the time, she was one of the osteopaths to the Cirque du Soleil at one point. Like, she's no slouch. Huh? Like, she understands a body, and she's like a body whisperer. She's like an osteopath, shaman, body whisperer, highly intuitive person.
Very cool.
And traveling with one of these sometimes. Now, I'm not going to promise anything to people who might be hearing this, but boy, oh boy, was she so sweet to have traveled with that to me, because I wasn't able to get anywhere.
Wow. Very cool.
And these lovely women who are, to certain people, renting these technologies, this one, not the other ones, but renting a Sequex mat to somebody over a monthly purchase. So you could use that for your friends. You could sell treatments to whoever once you learned how to do it. But the thing that bothers me is people would see these things as much more credible, much more easy to say, I'm going to embrace this, I'm going to use that. If somebody in a white coat with a stethoscope said, it's in my office, it's good technology, I don't necessarily know how to run it, but I've got the person over here that I trust that's doing that in my office, and let's put you on that to see what we can do to rebalance this and this and this, because I, in the white coat with the stethoscope, and recognizing what you are, and recognizing you are not just physical, that you are energetic and you are light. And I think you're having a problem in several of those areas of your systems. And I'm not the specialist in those at all, because I've taken none of that in my doctor courses, medical courses. But I know this to be the truth. And I've aligned myself with people that are experts I've aligned myself with really, really, really good technologies that are coming in from Europe. I've researched them, and I'm aligning myself with really good people that know how to service those and work with those.
Cool.
And so let's see what we can do to help the wholeness of you come into better balance. And because that sort of thing is not happening here, which is what is happening there. So it is happening there. It's also interesting to recognize, and I'm always grateful for that. I was teaching a nutrition course quite a long time ago at the Homeopathic College. And I can't remember if it was the Ontario College of Homeopathy or the other one, because I taught it too. But I remember sitting in a class. I was sitting in a class. I was able to just be told, yes, you can sit in this class. And it was a class about the history. was about history, the history of homeopathy, the history of all of this. And I was sitting in this class and they were talking about frequency, and this is frequency. Everything is frequency. If everything in the physical world that's matter is energy, then everything is frequency. Everything has a frequency. Therefore, everything has a frequency number and everything is connected to numbers. Right? So I'm listening in this class and she's talking about, this is North America. She's saying in North America, in Canada and the States, they were dedicating in the late 1800s, 1900, like 1890, 1880, they were dedicating themselves in the science world and the medical world to figuring out all the frequencies, like all the frequencies that were connecting into the human body, like all of them, all the frequencies of all of these things that were matter. And they were diligently doing this. And then it comes into the beginning of the 1900s. And there's something that's going on in the medical world in North America where there's a decision that gets made. Like they're seeing this polarization of the doctors. They're seeing the doctors that are going off here in the energy world and the doctors that are going off here in the physical world. And they went, no, we got doctors going off in two different directions. And we just need to pull this in. We just need to tighten this up. You know, otherwise we're going to have two fields of doctors. And so it's like there was just this decision that got made that, you know, everything here in our medical world is going to be alchemy. Like it's going to be that we're going to land here, which means we're going to land in what would be Newtonian physics, where only matter matters and matter is seen as matter, right? So we're landing there. So our solutions will be matter based, which they are. Yes. And the pills that you take, the surgeries that you have are solutions. So Newtonian physics is what is recognized here. But it was fascinating. Like he just sat there in the class and went, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? We were at the front of this curve. We in Canada, we in the United States, we were there. We had all this information. What they did, apparently, because I heard it from this woman in the class and I believe her because she'd done all the research of this, they gave it to Europe. They gave all of that. They said, we're not going to need this anymore. We don't want to go any farther with this. So here, have it. In other words, instead of junking it, which maybe they were thinking about doing, I don't know, but they were thinking absolutely of walking away from this because it was disturbing. It was separating. It was creating a dissonance. It was creating something that they didn't want. And so they gave it to Europe. And Europe said, thank you. We'll take it from here. And they did. And so they have color frequency technology and fluorescence and all of these things and machines and beautiful things that we're now bringing over here, bringing back here, all based in frequency medicine that this country and the United States walked away and said, this is not good for our doctors. This is not good for what we want to build. And all of that happened before Albert Einstein, apparently before Albert Einstein was able to link these two things together to be able to go, all matter is energy. And of course, when he linked those together, that was already gone off to Europe. And Albert Einstein was just hypothesizing all of this stuff. So it was going to be the foundation of quantum mechanics. But it's like Canada and the United States have already let it all go. And they never brought it back. They never went, oh, you know, look at what Albert Einstein has done. Look at what's been said. This hypothesis actually is real science. Quantum physics actually is and has become real science. We're now investigating that, believing that, seeing that, proving that, and they never brought it back.
Except for us woo-woo people.
Yeah, except for the woo-woo people that are operating against the system, which we are operating. But it's like, but that's because the consciousness is saying we're operating against the system. When we want to be with the system, we want to be part of the system. Like just recognizing it's a deficiency within the current system. So we're just We're just working to fill in the deficiency within the current system. We're just working to speak about things that, you're not supposed to speak about. We walked away from those because of the negative consequence that they perceived was going on for the doctors. But would there still be a negative consequence going on for the doctors if it was really that we've embraced Albert Einstein's work? We're saying this is real, this is true. So if we could bring it back all in through the idea of quantum physics is now being embraced, new biology is now being embraced, then it doesn't seem to have to be as troubling at all as it was then, before Albert Einstein put those things together and said they're the same. So here we are, still in this quandary, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, but I really work actively to not really say anymore what it is that I'm doing is woo-woo.
Yeah, me.
It's not. I'm filling in a deficiency that I really wished was not a deficiency.
Mm. Yeah.
And I'd really like it to not be a deficiency. And I'd really like it to be better adopted in, not that all the doctors have to learn all of this, but to say, hey, I've got an office space that has all of this. And I have people that in my office that have learned these pieces and they are very good at what they do. And I'm working with them.
Right.
And I don't know how to do that. And I don't really understand all the nuances of that, but they don't understand how to put two bones back together again either. So I have my expertise and they have their expertise and we're good.
Right.
And together we are more operating from a place of wholeness.
Yes.
And recognizing that body in wholeness. And bringing healing, help, and rebalancing to the wholeness. Because that's the other thing that these beautiful machines and technologies do, is they're not treating a part.
Right. They're not looking for the symptom. They're
treating wholeness.
Right.
They're trying to restore flow where there has not been flow. They're trying to rebalance things, recalibrate things, calm light, so to speak, move shadows from the light. Like they're working to do that. And just then recognizing things are happier, sorted, more comfortable, when they are flowing well. A liver is happier within itself, more comfortable within itself, less agitated, still working, when it's flowing, when it can talk to the stomach, when it can engage with the gallbladder, when the things are flowing in the gallbladder, when what the liver is asking of the gallbladder can answer and do. And everything is just flowing, and the bile is flowing, and everything's flowing, and it's all just part of wholeness.
Mm-hmm.
All keeping that person in flow.
Mm-hmm.
So that they're flowing. They're flowing with the light of their own soul. They're flowing. Versus stuck, versus stagnant. And but also looking and going, we are light beings. So is there a light? Is there a sequence of light? Boom, 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 boom. Intermittent, boom, 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 boom. Slow moving light coming in as violet, then coming in as red, then sitting with red for an hour for inflammation. What can we do with light? Where are we seeking? What are we doing? What are we using? What tools are we using? It's almost like, allowing for the people that have stepped forward to be the caregivers, to be helpers in this field, to have more tools available to them. So that's what I was thinking about for the last few days again, for the, I don't know how much time, this idea of what are we? What are we? You know, delivering people greater education as to what that truth is. I remember during the pandemic, the thing that I wanted to do, like, because really everything shut down, my teaching shut down, half the clients, nobody's coming, you know, who's doing that, who can afford what. And I was just sitting there going, well, what do I want to do? And I just thought, you know, make a movie. Well, who do I want to make a movie for? And I thought, people, but also the children. You know, make a movie like Disney would make a movie that would help. Like, I'll tell you, in that Inside Out, is that the name of it? Inside Out 2? Oh, makes me cry.
Oh, me too.
like what they've done to help children, adults, everybody just understand emotion, understand impact of emotion, understand suppression of joy and what we're doing. And just like, I could watch that movie over and over again. Like, thank you for educating the children. So it was kind of like that. It's like a movie helping to answer that question, helping people to feel safe that they have the right answer. Like, I am an energy being. I am a light being. And I'm sitting here learning from this movie about myself as a light being. I'm sitting here learning from this movie about myself as an energy being. And I'm starting to learn a few things about how to rebalance myself as an energy being, how to take care of myself a little better as an energy being, some little tricks of the trade for how to just sort something really quickly, like a magician, sort something really quickly as an energy being, and maybe having one of those holy shit, although we're not saying that to kids, but I call it HSOMG moment, like, holy shit, oh my God, if I just did this, if I just kinked my neck like 60 degrees in this direction, all of that emotional stuff would stop. Like, holy shit, there's that going on in the vertebrae of the spine. Like, it can literally lock something and shut something down if I'm just that unreasonably crazy, energetically, emotional. And wow, I can do that. My body can do that. Almost like pushing a button. And I just thought that would be great to do. That'd be fun to do. I remember talking to my son at one point. I said, dear, you know, are you savvy enough? Because I mean, these meridians, like teaching kids about these meridians, and what'd be really cool is to have the meridian just light up, like have on the screen this like, and this light, this like bright light in a certain color comes right up all the way through and traces the meridian. And wouldn't that be cool? And then we'd have another light for another color and go, and kids could just go, wow. And my son looked at me and said, Mom, I have no idea how to do that. Like, how do you think I am? Like, I have no idea how to do that. Not even a clue how to do what it is that you're articulating here. And I'm going, oh, okay, well, he's not my person, and I don't have a person, and I don't know a person, and I'm stuck in the I don't have a person, I don't know a person. This is a kind of a cool idea, but I don't know anybody that's going to help me with this idea, and I have no idea how this gets affordable. And one of the last things I wanted to do was step into something where I wasn't making any money. Like, where it's just like taking up mass amounts of time, even though I'm incredibly passionate about it, but it's like, I'm not making any money. There isn't anything coming back to pay a mortgage.
Right.
And I remember sharing it with somebody, and they said, well, yeah, but if you loaded it here, and of course, you know me, not tech savvy much at all. And it's like, well, if you loaded it here, you put it on YouTube, blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, you'd have these followers and that, and then you'd make some money. And I'm going, and I could just see the blur happening as the person saying, and then you would load it on YouTube, and I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm gone. I'm out of my body. I'm gone. Way out of my pay grade. but it was in this same vein, wanting to help to deliver something interesting, delicious, lovely to watch, non-threatening, delivering in truth, not too much truth, so that people could just start to really just envision, what am I? Like, am I really this? Am I really this? I think I am this. I think I'm going to choose to believe Albert Einstein and all the science behind that. And I think I'm going to choose to just say, I'm a light being. I'm a light being. I'm an energy being that knows frickin' nothing about how I operate as a light being and an energy being. And my doctor might know nothing about how I operate, except maybe they do when it comes to the heart, when they're doing their EKGs and their whatever, they know certain things. And who knows things? Who knows more things about being an energy being, being a light being, how it operates, how it all operates? Who is more understanding about this technology of me? And this has been where my passion has been for a long time. I'm more interested in understanding the technology of me in light, me in energy, me in mind, how I operate, mind, body, spirit. I'm more interested in that than I am in anything that's going on with a phone, right, or a television or an iPad. And every time they freaking upgrade these things, it drives me crazy, because I'm like, I just learned that tiny little thing and now it's gone and I can't find it. Yeah. And it's also bringing in that concept of, well, if we're living in the streaming world now, and if we're living in the upgrading world now, then does that mean that what I am, needs to upgrade? Do I actually need to upgrade? Am I being automatically upgraded? Do I need to be concerned about that? Is anything taking care of that? Or am I just becoming obsolete and going to become more obsolete, more obsolete than my parents ever became, because everything's moving faster and quicker?
That's true.
Just interesting concepts. What I believe, and what I've been seeing in my office, is that we do need to upgrade ourselves.
Yeah.
It was a lovely woman, Amanda Hopkins. She delivers in this really cool piece of information in one of the master classes. And she's talking about, look, the Earth's light, and it's true, the Earth's light is flowing better than it's flowed in a very long time, which means there's more light coming in available to us, with us, engaged with us, than maybe there has been in a very long time, if ever. The Schumann frequency resonance has changed. Science is looking at this. So are my cells able to harmonize with that light, take that light in, or are my cells gagging from that? Are my cells completely incapable of taking on that? If I do a session in my office or that office and I learn something different, disengage with an old program, say goodbye to an old program, become less limited because of that goodbye to an old program. So therefore I become lighter because I'm no longer running from that old program. Can the cells of my body carry my light? Can the cells of my body manage the new light of me coming into me? Because I got this awareness, say goodbye to something, disengaged with something, became less limited, became more open to me. Can my cells manage that? Can my cells manage the solar energy flares coming down onto the planet that are doing something to the planet that are then coming into me? Can my cells of my body manage that light? Deal with that light? Are my cells not able to do that? Are my cells getting exhausted with all this light coming in that is light now becoming a problem? Do I need to go sit in a dark room because light is becoming a problem? Because I can't manage all this light. I can't handle all this light. Do I need to not be out in the sun because I can't handle all this? And it's like, do I need an upgrade? Do my cells need an upgrade? Do my cells need a new version of themselves that can manage this light?
Right.
And she's the person that really brought that forward. And the answer is yes. That is the truth. That we do need to allow for that. We do need to say thank you for that. We do need to allow for that, what I call that divine light within us, that divinity aspect, that God within, to deliver those things to us, so that we can better manage the light of ourselves, so that we can be happier in this body as we are becoming more aware of who we are, because we're now starting to understand what we are. And so as all of this stuff moves out and all of these programs that we're following instead of being with ourself fall away, then can the cells of my body take me in? And divinity within me, can you help me with that? So that I can be myself here in this body. Because that's, I think, what's going on. The ascension cycle is doing that.
Right.
Bringing us into being ourselves, knowing ourselves, able to be more engaged with ourselves and way, way, way less engaged with the programs and things that we've been following that have been governing us for maybe centuries.
Yeah.
So I just feel like it's hard. It's hard to get to I want to be myself. I want to be myself without really recognizing what are you.
Right.
And feeling safer with the idea that I am these things. As I allow for more of the light of me to come into this body that is light.
Wow.
So anyway, these are my ponderings. These are my thoughts. These are, anyway, sorry, I just kept going and going and going.
No, I love it.
But it just, I just think it's a cool thing, What am I?
What am I? Yeah.
Am I just this? Am I just physical?
No.
Am I just physical? Am I just atoms? Am I just atoms? And if you follow quantum physics and the atoms, nothing. Nothing. Like they're looking at the atom going, well, it's really nothing. It's energy.
Right.
Am I just energy? Am I just energy? What does that mean, to just be energy?
Yeah. Good things to think about.
It is.
Yeah.
But I also liked in the classes when I was teaching them, getting people to shake hands with the person next to them once we were investigating this and nobody felt controlled or manipulated and everyone was kind of like, wow, this is kind of cool thought thinking. And getting them to kind of shake each other's hands and say hello to the light being by their first name right next door to them. Like,
nice.
Hello, light being Ellen. Hello, energy being Sophie. It's nice to meet you. I am light being Sarah. And I wanted people to feel in their body when they were speaking that truth, because it was the truth. I wanted people to feel what that felt like, as long as they hadn't shut down feeling in their body, and some people had,
right.
To feel what that felt like when you were telling the truth. When you're literally shaking somebody's hand and saying, hi, light being Laurie. Hi, energy being Laurie. It's really good to be here again. And what does that feel like when you dared to speak that truth, when you dare to acknowledge something that is not necessarily acknowledged at all here, and you're speaking out loud and owning, I am this. I am a light being. My physical body is light. My mitochondria communicate with light. I communicate with light. You're freaking kidding me? I communicate with light? How do I do that? How do I communicate with light? I communicate with light, so it's not all about me huh? I communicate with light. What am I communicating with? What's communicating with me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So my lovely light being Laurie friend, who I truly appreciate, thank you for letting me go on and on and on today about something that I am really quite passionate about. Stuff. Even though I've been disturbed by it, disenfranchised by it, it has not always been a smooth road of staying passionate about it.
Yeah.
Disappointed by it, disillusioned by it, depressed by it, saddened by it.
Yeah.
Grief connected to it. But I can't seem to stop being passionate about it. Once I get all that other emotional stuff out of the way and bring myself back to connection to love.
Right.
In connection to my own light.
Oh, this did not go the way I was expecting
no.
from our original discussion, but this is great.
But it kind of did.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, it did.
Which leaves the door open to a whole new section next time about possessed by somebody else's story so fully that you just become it.
Right.
Which could be next time.
Unless something else happens in your world that want to talk that's more important or different or whatever. But yeah, no, that's great. Well, hey, this has been.
Can I say something out loud before you close off?
Absolutely.
The place that I went to in Collingwood, where these women reside, where this woman, Kim Sator, has written, I don't know how many books. And they have the licensing for all of these machines coming here to Canada and North America. It's called Healing Energies. Okay. It's in Collingwood. There's apparently a Healing Energies 2 or another one in Newmarket, which is really somebody else. It's not a franchise. It's somebody else who has some of these technologies, who's very connected to them, who's very intuitive, very well knowing of how these work. And so she's opened up another office, basically bought these machines and said, I'll open my office space to more than just myself and more than just some friends. And I don't think it's Healing Energies Richmond Hill. I don't think so. I think that Richmond Hill location for the NESA technology is a doctor's office.
Oh, cool.
But anybody could find out that information by connecting with Healing Energies. They do have a website in Collingwood. And to find out any of these things. Anyway, I just wanted to say that because I was talking about them. I'm very happy that they're doing what they're doing.
I'll try and find the links and put them in with the show.
Well, I'll send you something that I have sent.
Perfect.
I wanted to do that.
Thank you. That's great. All right. Well, very interesting show. Thank you. You've been listening to News for the Heart. We've been getting to the heart of what matters with Tracy McBurney. And what are we? All right. We'll be back next month. Thank you, Trace.